Good morning. I kind of messed up with timing, but it was because I went to our area to do some grocery shopping and they're only letting a certain number of people in. And so I had to wait in a line, but it's okay because you just talk to people, get to know people, got to know some young airmen from South Dakota or North Dakota who've been here since July. They were supposed to only be here maybe 6 months at the most, and they're itching to get home. But with what's happening in the world, it's difficult for them to get back. So I have a short amount of time to play. I was hoping to come on live at 8, but tomorrow I will be doing this at my time, 7 a.m., which I believe is 5 p.m. Eastern time, and then I'll go back to 9 on Friday. But tomorrow I'm going to talk a little bit more about um, if this is some of the work you want to be doing. Maybe you've done it in the past and you want to do it again because maybe your life has gotten busy with family. So I'll be talking about that tomorrow. And Friday, I'm actually going to give a talk about the physical storytelling work that we've been doing on Zoom in order to accommodate our colleagues who first started with the virus. So we connecting with the Chinese that were on lockdown, and we also connected with some Italian colleagues as well. They were in London at the time, so um, I will just share a little bit of that work um, and how we use physical storytelling that also uses poetic and artwork. And I'll write more of this um, up before I go live with that. So today I just wanted to play a little bit with metaphor, and we can start very, very literally with, how we have body part metaphors. So, like, we might think that many of these inconveniences are a pain in the butt. So, that's kind of one. Or maybe we have something about um, we have people who tell us they can't dance, so they have two left feet. So, what would it look like to have two left feet? And metaphor is one of those things. It's very much a creative arts thing. So, if I had two left feet, so I'm going to the right, okay, so maybe it means that my feet, have this sort of awkwardness, and that's why I can't dance. So, I'm playing with that awkwardness of the two left feet. Now, you may have other body part metaphors that you like to, that just come into you as we're playing with this, and you can follow that. But if I'm playing with the two left feet, I'm discovering that my legs are coming together as one. And so for me, what does that bring up? That brings me into a metaphor about a mermaid. So I feel, that I'm one-legged and have that tail, and then I can really move my upper body. So that's the metaphor that's starting to come for me. And then as I continue the moving practice, I can feel that, this could be about rooting again, like we did yesterday, finding the rootedness, but also finding that connection into stability in the lower body and mobility in the upper body. And that maybe it's like being a tree And the wonderful thing about creative arts therapies is that one of the richness about the work we do is we're always playing with metaphors. Sometimes when we first start to work with our clients, we might have to begin very, very literally. And then after a while, something might arise, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, and you feel sort of a expansion into something that you're holding, maybe, more than one metaphor, or that you're doing a group and you have kind of a theme, but then each individual has their response to that and might have another metaphor that's evolving for them. So anyway, in this movement theme that I'm moving, with the 2 left feet, I've gotten into the mermaid and the tree, and enjoying this play with the stability with the legs and how mobile can my upper body be. So I can really bring in some bound flow into the legs where they're not moving, or now I'm finding a little pulse in it that can go up my body. But still bringing in the stability in the lower body and mobility in the upper body. And then of course that brings up the even bigger thing going on, or the big question that I have where I'm living is, are we going to go on lockdown at some point? We're not locked down at this point, but they're limiting the numbers who go, because they don't want the big groups. They're warning you the 6 feet away from people. So I could go and shop in the commissary, and so some things are open, but school just closed here. So I'm wondering, as I'm moving, is the bigger thing that pretty soon I'm going to be on lockdown and have to stay on the base and not go off. I'm hoping not. I'm hoping to still be able to scuba dive this weekend, but who knows? So this is the big part of stepping into the unknown. But meanwhile, I can find ways to move through it. So after a while, although personally I could probably stay here and explore from this position for a while, but once we've kind of stabilized a body part, after a while it might want to, what happens when I begin to add what was stable into being mobile. So maybe that's a little theme going on right now, is we're less mobile because we're not flying all over the world. Are we more stable? And do we just bring more of that mobility into our online connections with each other? I don't know. I'm just putting it out there. So I'm just bringing in my lower body and feeling like the antidote for me always is to try to find plenty of movement in my body to open and close, core distal, find the spine, and just find that joint mobility. So this is just a tiny little piece about metaphors right at the moment. And I'm feeling like, oh, okay. Whew. I've done that commissary run. Whew. I can really take up more space now, because there I was keeping 6 feet away, you know. So I could feel myself kind of wanting to be respectful of the people in the lines outside that I want to get through fast. But then, was I calm enough to really pace myself and know that I got what I needed? And part of me says, well, whatever, you know. It works out to whatever we need at the moment. And then for me now, it's just coming back to that center line. So bringing things back into that center line. And that's how I'm going to finish off today. And sorry about the lack of notice and lack of time. And thanks for joining me. And have a lovely evening or day.